Hey there! Thanks for stopping by and checking out our course snippet, taken from the Web Development Masterclass. In our course, we teach the full web development lifecycle, including all the latest web technologies and cloud hosting frameworks. For full course details and registration, please visit the link down below in the info section.
In this section of the course, we're going to be creating an input form using HTML. A form is used to gather input from your user. Forms are the most common method of data collection from website visitors. The data that is inputted into the form can be stored into a database or submitted to an email address. Keep in mind that in order for a form to work and transmit data, we need to use a programming language that communicates with our web server. Later in this course, we'll be exploring PHP and working more with data processing. For now, in the HTML section of this course, we'll only be creating the front end of the form. This is what the user sees through their web browser. Let's take a look at an example of a basic contact form on the web. On this form, the user is able to submit an inquiry directly to the website's support staff by completing the required fields, for example, name, email, subject, and message. If we try to submit the form without filling in any information, we can see a number of errors appear. This is known as form validation. Now let's explore how a form is processed once the user clicks the send button. First, the user completes the form and fills out all the form fields. Next, the data is transmitted to a PHP script which validates the form. Validation includes checking to make sure the data is accurate to a certain degree. Data validation is very important and can be done in client-side programming languages such as JavaScript and also in server-side languages such as PHP. It's recommended that both are implemented. Keep in mind that users can disable client-side validation by adjusting settings in their web browser. Server-side validation, on the other hand, cannot be avoided. We'll be working with both types of validation techniques later in this course. Examples of data validation types include checking email address formats, checking the length of data typed into a field, for example, a minimum amount of characters or a maximum amount of characters must be met in order for form submission. Or perhaps checking the format of a phone number. This is not an exhaustive list, and there are many different ways data can be validated. Once the data is validated, the data is processed. The data can be inputted into a database, it can be transmitted to an email address, or some other form of data processing. On the other hand, if validation fails, the user is typically sent back to the contact form page so corrections can be made. As a reminder, we'll be working with form data processing later in this course. For now, we'll begin with developing just the front end of the form using HTML.